Here is the new and current most broken way to level up your weapons in Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone Season 1 Reloaded after the new update. I'm going to make this as short and as simple as possible, but if you do go on to find it useful, make sure to drop a like on it so that other people can find this guide too, and feel free to check out my other Season 1 guides like how to level up the Battle Pass fast, Warzone tips, camo guides, zombies guides, that kind of thing. I'm going to have timestamps in the description if you want to jump to a specific part of the video, if you want tips for certain parts of the game for weapon XP, but without further ado, let's get into this guide. First I'm going to talk about multiplayer, and then going to go on to zombies, and then I'll talk about Warzone as well, and then the best methods overall. Again, I'll try and make this guide as quick and as simple as possible. So let's quickly talk about multiplayer first. You're going to want to put on a class setup, as that will help you boost the amount of XP you get for your weapon. So for the perks, you want to put on the Demolition Vest, which lets you resupply lethal and tactical equipment every 25 seconds. You want to put on the Scavenger Gloves for perk 1 to resupply ammo, Stalker Boots for perk 2, and the Blacklight Flashlight gear for perk 3, which shows recent enemy footsteps. It just allows you to find enemies more easily. Then for your tactical equipment, you want to put on Decoy Grenades, as this counts towards weapon XP. For the lethal equipment, put on a Semtex, and for the field upgrade, you can either put on a DDoS or a trophy system. Then make sure you've changed the kill streaks to score streaks so that score counts, not just kills. And I'd recommend putting on something like a UAV, counter UAV, and then something else like a sentry turret. Before we get into the video, if you're looking to permanently unlock the new Modern Warfare 3 Mastery camos, or play in bot lobbies to max out your guns, or even get your hands on an instant delivery pre-made account, then be sure to check out MitchCactus.com. These guys are the biggest and most reliable sellers with tons of brand new offerings for Modern Warfare 3 with completely safe and legitimate services for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So far, they have almost 10,000 reviews on Trustpilot. If any of that sounds good to you guys, then make sure to use code RAGER for 5% off for a limited time only. In terms of what mode is best, it will depend what's out when you're playing. At the start of Season 1 Reloaded, it's going to be the new Rio map. Not sure what that's going to be like. If it's good, obviously play that. If not, there will be other modes coming soon. Ideally, you want to play a close quarters mosh pit, which involves maps like Shipment, Rust, or Meat. So if you can get into any of those, that's the best, as they're close quarters and packed maps. You can get more kills and therefore more XP. So if you get mosh pits like Rust 24/7, Shipment 24/7, Rustment 24/7, or something to do with Meat, then definitely go to any of those. Obviously, your most important factor in multiplayer is getting kills, so go into a close quarters mosh pit, rush around and get some kills. The other main thing you want to focus on is throwing decoy grenades. So chuck them around the map. If they go off near enemies, you're going to get some decoy assist, which will get you more XP as well. You then want to use your field upgrade, which you can either use the DDoS, which keeps going off and it DDoSes people and also the equipment, and that will get you XP. Or if it's a busy map like Shipment, you can put a trophy system down, and you often get people chucking decoys and other equipment as well. And every time it destroys a piece of equipment, you'll get XP. So that's good as well if you find lots of people are chucking equipment. If not, the DDoS is good. The other main thing you want to go for is the objective. So each time you go for the objective, you're going to get a lot of weapon XP. So if it's kill confirmed, collect the dog tags. If it's domination or hard point, either capture the point if it's neutral or from the enemy, or defend it if you've got it, and all of that will get you more kills and it'll get you attacker or defender XP as well. Also make sure you're using your field upgrades, kill streaks and equipment, and make sure you're destroying enemy equipment, field upgrades and kill streaks. That's it for multiplayer. What about if you're playing zombies? Well, in zombies the methods have changed quite a lot. Currently it's not the absolute best way to level up your weapons, but if you're playing zombies it still can be good, and I'll explain what you want to do now. So before you start the game, make sure you put on the weapon you want to level up, put on a field upgrade such as the energy mine, you put on a Semtex or another piece of lethal equipment, a stim or decoy grenades, and then activate a double weapon XP token. Then there's different methods you can do. The first one involves the Outlast contract, where basically you go there, you capture it to about 80% or more to get lots of zombies spawning in while you're doing the objective, and then you can cancel the contract and that will still get the zombies to spawn in even though you've cancelled the contract. So they're still going to spawn and you can just keep getting kills over and over again. The third method you can do is very simple. It's just grinding contracts, so do whichever ones you want as quickly as possible. If you've got a good weapon, you can easily destroy like HVT contracts really quickly. You can do the deliver cargo contract quickly, that kind of thing. So you can just keep grinding contracts over and over again if you want. And I'd say the fourth main way to level up weapons quickly in zombies is to do the Act 1 Tier 7 extraction mission. And you can repeat this over and over again after you've completed the mission anyway. So once you get to Act 1 Tier 7 mission, it's called extraction, and basically you want to load into a game of Modern Warfare Zombies, wait for the special exfil to spawn in. It will then be like a running blue man on the map with a little star icon. Just go to that special exfil, board the helicopter, it'll bring you to Dr. Jansen's locations. Then it'll bring you to a small area of the map, which is the military base, and you want to pick up lots of deadbolt, turret, ammo mod circuit boards. They'll be scattered all around the map. I'll show you where a few of them are. There's one first when you spawn in, when you drop off the helicopter, and there'll be more later on. Now then what you want to do is run around the edge of the map to skip part of the mission, head to the office with Dr. Jansen, and it's going to get you to escort her up to the helipad. But before you do that, you want to pick up some more circuit boards. So there's going to be one inside her office, there's going to be one on the surface opposite her office. I'll show you where that is. And there'll be a few in the offices upstairs on the table and in the loot boxes and stuff. I'll show you where they are. You can pick up those circuit boards as you're escorting her upstairs. So once you've done that, you're going to escort her upstairs to the helipad, although you don't have to actually go with her. She can go her own separate way. You can go a different way, as I find that's often easier danger and you don't come into as many zombies, which is good. I would go the other way. I like going up the ladder around the side, but you can go whatever way you want as long as you get up to the helipad. Now, once you get up there, it's then going to want you to basically get in the helicopter and finish the mission, but you don't want to do that because it basically acts as an exfil. At this point, zombies are going to keep infinitely spawning in to try and kill you while waiting for you to basically get in the helicopter and leave the match. Before you do that though, what you can do is you can go over to the deadbolt turret, load it up with circuit boards. Each circuit board is going to get you 2 minutes of turret use, so if you have 6 of them, you're going to get 12 minutes of constant deadbolt turret use. It's very quick and it can kill all the zombies really, really fast. So just keep going around the helipad. It's going to attract more and more zombies to jump up onto the helipad, and at which point the turret's going to keep going round and round and killing zombies over and over again, and that is all going to count towards weapon XP. So it's really good. It can kill the zombies really fast. I'd highly recommend it. Now, the thing with these methods, I'm not sure about the extraction mission one, but the rest of them, there seems to be a cap now with weapon XP. So basically, after about 7 weapon levels, it's not going to count anymore. So you will get XP very, very slowly after those 7 weapon levels, but it's going to take so long it's not worth it. After you've got 7 weapon levels, what I'd recommend doing in zombies is basically exfilling or do something else that's not focused on weapon XP grind. But if you are just focused on the grind, exfil, restart the mission and do it all over again. So basically the rush will be how quickly can you get those 7 weapon levels. Finally, I wanted to talk about Warzone, and these are definitely some great methods for sure, perhaps some of the best in the game. We'll talk about which modes are best at the end, but there's 2 main ones you want to focus on depending on what mode's around in Warzone. If Plunder is around, I'll talk about that mode first. If not, you'll want to skip to the Vondel lockdown method, which I'll be talking about in just a minute. So first, let's talk about Plunder, although this can be done in any other mode, Battle Royale, Resurgence, whatever, but it works best in Plunder. So what you want to do, if Plunder is around, is you want to do contracts, whether that's Scavenger, Intel, Big Game Bounty, or Most Wanted. I prefer Most Wanted because they're easiest and give you more XP, but it's up to you. Do whatever one you want. If you're doing Most Wanted, they're great because you have to survive for 4 minutes, but what you want to do is play with teammates. Now, if you or your teammates open any loot containers, whether that's loot boxes, first aid kits, duffel bags, fridges, whatever it is, each time you open one, it's going to reduce the Most Wanted timer, i.e. how long you have to survive for, by 10 seconds. So if you open 6 of them, it knocks a whole minute off the timer. And obviously, while you're looking for these loot containers, you're going to be running down time anyway, so you can literally do it in half the time or less. So basically, you only need to do the contract for 2 minutes or less normally, and it's done. So it's very easy. You can quickly grind these over and over again. I would recommend going to an area of the map where it's less busy so you can get on with this and don't get killed. So try and go somewhere away from the flight path, but it's up to you. The next thing you want to do in Plunder is you want to do looting. Now, this is great because it gives you money. It reduces the Most Wanted contract time if you're doing that contract, but also every time you open a loot box or loot container, you get 100 XP, which counts towards weapon XP. So 100 weapon XP every time you open a container. Again, whether that's a first aid kit, loot box, duffel bag, whatever it is, it will give you 100 XP, which is fantastic. So open as many containers as you can, both while you're doing contracts and while you're not doing contracts. The third thing you want to do is you want to go to a buy station. So similar to in Warzone 2 when there was that bug at the start of the game, you basically want to collect loads of cash, which you can do from looting in different buildings, different areas, gas stations, cash registers, all these different places. You can also loot cash from loot containers and loot boxes, like we just mentioned. Doing contracts will give you cash, and looting from other enemies you kill will give you cash too. Once you get lots of cash, you want to go to the buy station. I'd recommend waiting until you have about $400,000 to $500,000, but it's up to you. Go to the buy station, spam buy loads of armor plates, and that's going to give you like a few weapon levels, maybe up to about 5 weapon levels in one go. Really insane, really easy to do. So in summary, for Plunder, what you want to do the contracts, especially Most Wanted, loot containers, collect lots of cash. Those 3 things in itself is going to get you lots of weapon XP, but on top of that, you want to go to a buy station, use the cash you've just earned from doing those things, and then buy lots of armor plates and get you another few weapon levels on top, which is fantastic. And then on top of that, you can get kills and other things you might do it generally in the game anyway. Doing all that is going to get you a ton of weapon XP in Plunder, and you'll level up your weapons really fast. But if Plunder isn't around or you don't want to play it and Vondel Lockdown is around instead, here is what you're going to want to do. So for Vondel Lockdown, it's really good as well. What you want to do is first of all put on the resupply perk in the perk 3 slot. This is going to allow you to recharge your equipment every 50 seconds. Then for your tactical equipment, you want to put on the decoy grenade. You can probably see where I'm going with this, but I'm going to explain it anyway. It's a little bit different from what you might think. So what you want to do is spawn into Vondel Lockdown and basically keep throwing lots of decoy grenades at people. Now, you'll only have 2, but like I say, you've got this resupply perk, which will allow you to resupply them every 50 seconds. And on top of that, you can get them from munitions boxes as well. There's lots of munitions boxes in Vondel Lockdown because you can get them from the loot boxes. So open the loot boxes, it'll give you lots of munitions boxes, and you can use those to replenish some equipment too. So keep getting decoy grenades over and over again. Keep throwing them into popular areas with enemies, whether that's sort of on zones you need to lock down or enemies spawning in or rooftops. Wherever you see lots of enemies, throw those decoy grenades in that area. Every time a decoy grenade goes off near an enemy, you get 200 XP. So if it's 2 people, you get 400 weapon XP, and so on. Now the good thing is you also get weapon XP obviously for getting a kill. So if you see an enemy, you can throw some decoy grenades at them in that area. If there's several enemies there, you get a multiple of 200 weapon XP depending on how many people there are. And on top of that, if you then kill them, you'll then get the normal more weapon XP from that as well. On top of that, you want to be opening loot boxes. Again, every loot box you open gives you 100 weapon XP, and there's tons of them around, so find them. They're not too difficult to find. A nice bonus on top. Not the main thing to go for, but it's still good. And then the other thing, aside from getting kills and loot boxes, is you want to be holding the zones. This, again, isn't going to be your main focus, but if you come across them, it's a great boost to weapon XP. So basically, go up to a zone and just sit on it for a little while. Every few seconds you're holding that zone, you're going to get 20 weapon XP for yourself. If you have teammates, you're going to get more XP. So the more people sitting on the objective, the more weapon XP you get. So you get weapon XP for holding the zones, getting the kills, loot boxes, and also throwing decoy grenades. If you put that all together, you're going to level up weapons insanely fast in Vondel Lockdown. You can easily level up your weapon to max level in 30 minutes or less, especially if you put on a weapon XP token. Now, overall, which method is best? I would say at the moment, the Vondel Lockdown method actually seems to be best with the decoy grenades. However, if that's not around, the plunder method I would say is a second best. And after that, it's a kind of toss up between zombies and multiplayer, depending on how quickly you can do it in zombies. If you can get in and get those 7 levels really fast in zombies, zombies might be quicker. Otherwise, it might be multiplayer. Multiplayer is a bit more variable depending on what kind of skill group you're playing with, what the game mode is, that kind of thing. But anyway, that is the fastest way to level your weapons in Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone Season 1 Reloaded right now. If you found this useful, be sure to drop a like on the video so that other people can find this too. Feel free to check out my other Season 1 Reloaded videos, like how to level up the battle pass fast, zombies guides, camo guides, that kind of thing. Finally, if you like what you see, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all my latest Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone videos. I've always got the latest guides on how to level up your weapons fast and other guides like I've mentioned as well. Hope you guys found this all helpful, and I'll see you guys all on the next video.